And Democrats today are hailing the passage of a $26 billion aid package, saying that it will save thousands of teachers' jobs around the country. Republicans are calling this a bailout for the teachers' unions, which spent millions of dollars to lobby for the bill's passage. Dennis Van Roekel is president of the National Education Association, I think the largest teachers' union in the country. So thank you very much for joining us.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Well, respond, if you will, to John Boehner, to the Wall Street Journal, to all of the criticism that this jobs bill, the teachers' bill that the House returned for yesterday, is just a bailout for the teachers' unions.
Well, I believe it's a victory for students, because with the $10 billion included in that bill, what it allowed districts to do is to lower class size, to reinstitute programs that were eliminated, rehire specialists like reading specialists, reinstitute bus routes that were eliminated. This is about students.
If it's about students, why are some people criticizing it? The Washington Post had an editorial saying that Maryland doesn't even need this aid. They had not laid off teachers. So why wasn't it targeted for the states where the layoffs occurred, in New Jersey and Virginia and some of these other states? Why did it go nationwide? Isn't that pork?
Well, I think one of the confusing points in all of this is the difference between layoffs and loss of jobs. In many districts, if they had, say, 100 retirees and they didn't replace only about 20 of those, well, then they have 80 less positions, but they didn't lay anyone off. What we do know is there are many lost positions in education, and that impacts students.
Wanted to ask you about your criticism. Your union has been very critical of Arne Duncan's race to the top, of the Obama administration's the sort of signature education improvement or reform program. What are your objections to race to the top?
Well, where we start is in agreement with the Obama administration and Secretary Duncan. We believe the status quo is not acceptable.
But you would change it in a different way, a dramatically different way.
Well, some of the things about the race to the top, we worry about those states that don't get funds. In the first round, 2 states, Delaware and Tennessee. Now we're awaiting in September, maybe another 10. But in every one of those states, there are students who are in dire need. When the Elementary Secondary Education Act, or No Child Left Behind, was first passed 40 years ago, it was to help children in poverty, to level the playing field. Those are in every single state, and so we worry that some are still being left behind by the competitive nature. But what we do believe is that the status quo needs to change. These students need to have a quality public education, especially in the 21st century.
And the teachers' unions have to be part of the solution, and we all have to be. So we welcome your presence here today, and we hope this conversation can continue.
Thank you very much. We want to be part of the discussion because we don't believe you can change education without involving the people who spend their daily professional life right there with the students from pre-K to graduate. So we're anxious and ready to be part of the discussion and finding the solutions.
Thank you so much, Dennis Van Roekel from the National Education Association. And next to Foreign